upgrade pace is looking solid right now, but I do think we need to push harder if we want to stay competitive. Here's the report.
Wait, what? Upgrade pace looking solid? We haven't made any upgrades. What is up, guys? JayFerGaming here. Welcome back to my F1 2016 career mode. This is season 4. If you've missed the first race of the season in Australia, do go check that one out. It was an absolute brilliant start to the season. Bit of a challenge for us, but we'll be looking to push on from that. So, also, if you are new to the channel, hit subscribe, of course, to get updated with these new videos. So, our driver position already isn't looking good. We've only had one race with the Red Bull team. We had a bit of a struggle, but we did score a point on debut. We do have a very weak power unit, as you can see there, but we have the second strongest car, so it's just a case of building up them resource points, getting the upgrades as quick as possible, and then hopefully having some more straight line speed. So that was the result from the first race. You see our teammate finished in P2, so there is potential in the car and we should be doing a lot better. So let's get to qualifying here. So this was our first run in Q1. If you've missed it already, I have changed the qualifying system to be realistic, so it's got the full session Q1, Q2, Q3. I did a bit more practice than I usually do. You know, I can't be bothered to do too much practice. We were only 1.5 off the Ferrari of Kimi Raikkonen, so I thought that might be a pretty decent lap. We'll simulate a bit further into the session, and then, yeah, we just tumbled down the order, so it was getting a bit intense. We dropped down to P17, so we only need to get one position from this, and that would be jumping over Jenson Button, and this is a decent improvement. We were well quicker in the first sector, but we've been losing pace all the way through the lap, but it jumps us up to P14, which ended up our final position in Q1. But if you compare us to Daniel Ricciardo, who put his lap on the soft compound tyres, we are still 6/10 slower, so there's a lot of time to be made up there, but at least we've made it into Q2 for the first time. This is going to be our only lap in Q2, because we used up both sets of super soft tyres in Q1, so I was hoping for just a banzai lap. We'll see where we end up. Come to the line, it's a 31.2, so we're 1.2 off Hamilton. Let's see where that's going to put us, because of course, as I just said, that was our only lap and we did get knocked out. P15, 1.4 seconds off, so we're getting closer to the top, but obviously we could do with a vast improvement, but it's an improvement from Australia, P20 to P15. Obviously we've got a bit more pace, but yeah, just getting used to the car, getting used to everything. And now, on race day, of course it's going to be dry in the desert. I don't think I've ever seen any rain in Bahrain. See what I did there? Well, you'll see one bit of rain in Bahrain. But yes, very hot day here. We ended up P10 after a challenging race in Australia, so I'm hoping for some decent points here. There's a lot of straights on this track, as you can see, so straight line speed's going to be very important. The setup I've chosen for this is, it's a custom setup, so it's more oriented towards straight line speed. I've learned from my experience in Australia. I think I did pick the wrong setup. So the Renault power unit probably isn't as bad as I made out. So this will be a true test with the run into turn 1 and obviously DRS and everything. So let's see if we can make up big positions in the start. So here we go with the starting grid for the Bahrain Grand Prix. The two Mercedes lock out the front row, and it's been a very long time since I've been able to say that. Ricciardo, my teammate in P3, great effort there. And there's no Renaults near the top. Magnussen's down in P8, Palmer P9. So the stranglehold that Renault had in the old qualifying format, this might mix things up a bit more than I expected. So there we are in P15, just ahead of the two McLarens. So we're ahead of cars we should be. Saubers, Haas's, McLarens and Bottas. It doesn't sound too great, does it? But in terms of the strategy for the race, we've been recommended to go on all three compounds. My initial thought was avoid the medium compounds and start on the softs. As I say pretty much every race that I start outside the top 10, I like to start on the compound in the middle. So we'll try and stretch out the soft tyres. I'm not sure if this strategy is going to work, but a 2-stop will definitely be superior to the 3-stop. So let's get ready for the second race of the season, Bahrain Grand Prix. 5 lights and away we go. We got hell for absolutely ages there. Raikkonen's got a poo start ahead of us. And we get a bit of wheel spin, so it affects us a little bit. So we're going to be side by side with Raikkonen into turn 1. Just looking for the gap. Can we get a dive bomb up the inside? We just avoid Massa. We actually get quite a few cars. No cars defended the inside there. So trying to get onto the power side by side with the manner here of Harry Anto. We make contact. Nearly sends us into a spin, but his car kind of balances our car out. So we're still going in a straight line. Can we get him under braking? Yes, we can. Palmer as well, side by side. Oh, contact with my former teammate Hulkenberg. Side by side with my previous teammate to that. Bit of oversteer there, but we get the car through. It was only a little bit of contact, no damage though. That puts us up to P10. That's another great start. Just, I suppose we are taking advantage of the AI. Being a little bit slow and not covering the inside line. But considering we're on the soft compound tyres, that's been very good indeed. So, at the end of lap 1, this is going to be a true test for our straight line speed. And initial thoughts, it doesn't look too bad at all. We're closing in on our former teammate of Hulkenberg. And can we get Verline as well? Are we going to go for the double overtake into turn 1? Late on the brakes. Locked up. We've gone a little bit too deep. I think Hulkenberg's coming back. Yes, he is. Verline's on our outside. We squeeze him out and get ourselves up to P9. A great move there. Little bit cagey under braking, but at least we got the move done. And at least we have some straight line speed. And looks like we've got a decent run out the final corner. This car is actually feeling pretty good for well, compared to the first race. And this looks very promising. I don't think I qualified well enough compared to the actual car performance. Something to work on, but once again, just making up positions. And it doesn't seem too difficult. The car under traction as well feels pretty good. Of course, it feels great in the corners. I mean, the downforce on this car is fantastic. Add a bit more straight line speed and a bit more qualifying speed, then we could be fighting for race wins. Ahead of us, Magnussen and Kvyat side by side. Magnussen trying to get through the field, the world champion from Season 3. But the Toro Rosso driver of Kvyat's holding him back for now. Let's see if we can take advantage here of any scraps of a battle. But no, we're not close enough to go for a dive up the inside. We have a quick look, but no, can't get it done. And now, look, we're just closing in, using the double toe here. And I thought I was going to go into the back of Magnussen there. He was a bit early on the brakes, but look at that exit. Once again, we get a much better exit. So Kevin's got the slipstream of Kvyat. We're trying to use both their slipstreams as possible. Though we're going to box the Renault driver in. This has not worked out well for him, which means we could go for another double overtake into turn 1. We brake early, get the move done, hit the apex. Vettel ahead's gone very wide there. I think he lost a position. Not too sure why he went wide. Maybe he got squeezed out by someone. But we're up to P6 now. We're on the back of Perez and Vettel. So our pace in the early stages, is very promising indeed. Even at this corner. That corner has got to be one of the most difficult in F1, one of my worst, but I seem to be performing it and getting through it very nicely indeed. And we've got such a run on Perez that we're going to make the move before the final corner, make a bit of contact. I think Perez turned in on us slightly there, we'll see from the replay. And yeah, he just grazes our side pod, no major contact there, but he loses so much momentum, so he's not going to be a threat down the straight as we go on to lap 5 now, closing in on Vettel, who's on the same compound of tyre as us. Can we get the move done up into turn 1? Late on the brakes, locking up in the apex though. It's a solid move, he's still there, but let's see if we can hang around the outside. Brilliant traction there from the Red Bull, really enjoying the car at the moment. Up the inside, we should get the move done and get ourselves up into P4, so yeah, it just shows if I had a little bit more pace in qualifying, then we should be up near the front. Great move there. And yeah, in terms of strategy, all the cars ahead of us are on the super soft, so they should be pitting pretty soon. So me and Vettel are the lead cars on the soft compound tyres. Skipping to, well, coming on to lap 7 now. My teammate's into the pits. He's made them tyres last for 6 laps. Hamilton's in as well, who's leading the race. And now Vettel, is he going to go for the move? Yes, he is, into turn 1. And I don't really fight it too much. We are probably on a similar strategy. He forces us a little bit wide, but we don't want to be fighting too much because obviously the cars that have already pitted can again undercut, but they're also going to be battling with the cars who haven't pit, so you've got to balance it out really. Me and Vettel don't really want to be fighting. We'll fight later on in the race. We've got to be sensible about this. But yeah, unexpectedly, I'm right on the back of Vettel. It's not really what I wanted to do, but looks like I've got a great run here. I'm not sure if he's saving fuel or something. He doesn't have any car issues from what my engineers told me, but we go up the inside into the final corner. I actually don't know who's going to get DRS here, but actually it's not me at all, it's Vettel, so he should blast past me here. I put the car down, the power unit down to lean because I might as well just let him get ahead of me, and I'll just follow him. I'll use his DRS to pull me round. He is going at a decent pace, so it should work out pretty well, but actually he pulled away from me on that lap. We do get DRS, but he is going into the pits. So we did 8 laps on them tyres, and at this point I was thinking, he's going to get quite a bit of an undercut. If I'm going to go on the soft strategy, then I'm going to have to pit on lap 10 or 11, and yeah, these tyres are starting to go off. So at this point I decided I'm going to switch my strategy up. I'm going to come in at the end of this lap, don't give too much of an undercut to Vettel, and I'm actually going to put on the medium compound tyres, which I was hoping to avoid. I was hoping the performance on these tyres would be pretty good, because on the softs I had decent performance, and it felt a lot better than Australia, so I thought maybe I can make these mediums work. So we come out in P12, just ahead of the man of Pascal Wehrlein, who's on the super soft tyres, so I thought he might be a threat at this moment, and it looks like he is closing in the mirror, so I've got to go slightly defensive here into turn 4, we'll say turn 4, and I think we've defended the position. Yes, we do, but we have decent grip in that corner already, and that felt pretty good. Closing in on the back of Jenson Button, who I'd imagine hasn't pit yet. He does seem pretty slow, and he's getting detached from the group of cars ahead of cars that have pit, so I need to get past the McLaren as quick as possible, and with a great run through that chicane, we should go for a move up the inside. Yes, we do. Doesn't turn and leaves the space, and that's nicely done. So, P10, fighting our way through the cars who are yet to pit. So, ahead of us is Nico Hülkenberg, so he's undercut us. Vettel is ahead of us as well, so if we get onto the back of that pack, things should be doing pretty nicely, but I couldn't catch up to the cars ahead, unfortunately. It's the two Force Indias and Sebastian Vettel, and I was pushing quite hard, and that led to me making a mistake there into the final corner. Carlos Sainz has put us under pressure. He's got DRS, should be an easy move for him. He is on the soft compound tyres as well, so that is for genuine position. But I wasn't too worried about that, because he obviously is on the quicker tyres. So at this point I was trying to use Sainz once again to pull me towards the pack ahead, which I just couldn't catch up to. But as you know it, I let him through, and then I get told by my engineer that he's got a problem with his car. Of course it works out like that, so he's incredibly slow here, and I just had to get past him, otherwise we'd lose far too much time. So now I've got to try and catch up to Vettel on my own, which I think he's got slightly better pace than us. At first in the stint he was 2-3 tenths a lap quicker, but now it's building up to like nearly a second, I think. So these tyres, we're starting to struggle with them a little bit, as there's cars in the pits. Vettel and my teammate Ricciardo, who I think is the effective race leader, but I think he is battling with Hamilton, so it should be pretty close to the front. I was looking to pit at the end of lap 21 or 22 and put on the super soft tyres. I felt like that was the strategy to go for. Obviously cars will get the undercut once again, but we'd be able to pounce in the final stint. So we'll come to the end of the lap, but we have a bit of a curveball here. Romain Grosjean is out the race, and the safety car's been deployed just as we come onto the start-finish straight. So I thought, I've got to take advantage of this and come into the pits and put on the super soft tyres. So, with a few laps behind the safety car, this could work out very well for us. Where do we end up? Because obviously the cars out on track have to drive to a delta. They were near the end of the lap, so it won't be as big an advantage as it could have been. But we've come out in P8, and with the only car on the super soft tyres, so yeah, things are going to get very interesting in this final stint. We're getting ready for the restart with 6 laps to go. We've got enough fuel to push. We've got pretty fresh tyres. We're the only ones on the super soft, so away we go. What can we do here? Hülkenberg brakes for absolutely no reason, so we've got him early. We're trying to get Perez here, but he's using the slipstream, so we need to get in his slipstream. Potentially go for move into turn 1. Yellow flags are not helping us. Up the inside. Can we get 2 cars? Oh, we're all locked up, avoiding Rosberg. We've got them both. Brilliant move there, and that's put us up into P4. We have an outside shot of the podium here. We'll see the replay. It was a great diving move, but I was a little bit out of control there. A big double lockup, but at least he slowed the car down and didn't make any contact with Vettel. But on board with Perez, I don't know what he's doing there. Maybe he's panicking that I'm just about to chuck it up the inside. But a good move there, up to P4, and now to chase after the 2 Mercedes. So it's Rosberg and then Hamilton, and they're both on the medium compound tyres, which means we need to pounce early because we need to build a gap to them. As we go up the inside of Rosberg, up to P3, and this is looking very good, I've got to say. We've got to pounce early, of course, so make the most of these tyres, and then we'll deal with the tyre wear near the end of the race. A bit of a lock-up then to the very tricky, I'll guess, turn 9. I just say random corner names and numbers, but as we get to the lap, we're right on the back of Lewis Hamilton. There's a bit of a train behind us. You can see Vettel's going very defensive there, and everyone is following him. But we're using rich mix We don't have DRS yet, but we're closing in on Hamilton. We're going to go for it into turn 1. Up the inside, he leaves us the room. We get the car slowed down very nicely, and we're up to P2. Unbelievable. This is totally different from Australia. It feels so much better. Hamilton's coming back though, and we're going to squeeze him here. We're not going to push him off the track because all the time you have to leave a space, okay? And he's gone for it. No. We've kept him behind us with that aggressive defensive move up to P2, and it's a Red Bull 1-2. Things are looking very good indeed. Ricciardo's on the soft compound tyre, so it might be difficult for us to close in on him, but the Renault of Palmer is out of the race. He makes contact here with the force, and he just doesn't turn in properly, and he gets smashed from behind by, I think that's Kimi Räikkönen there, so it's game over for Palmer. No points in 2 races for him, and he's caused a bit of a traffic train. But as we come on to the penultimate lap, our tyres are really starting to go off now, and we're getting put under pressure by Sergio Perez in my car from last season. So I do know all about it. It's got great straight line speed. How's it going to do compared to us? It's going to breeze past us. Oh, that's not a good sight, so we're going to have to defend by throwing it back up his inside. We turned in a little bit too late there, made slight contact, but we defended the position. There's no damage. So for now, we're okay, but no doubt we'll be under pressure from the Force India once again soon. Probably Hamilton as well, the car sliding through turn 9. I apologise if that isn't turn 9, but I'm going to keep calling it turn 9 for now. So we didn't get a great run there, so Perez might be going for the move. Yes, he does. I didn't really fight it too much because I'd rather have DRS on the start-finish straight. He gets past us, but if we can stick with him through this section, which we have been doing with most cars in this race, we should be set to overtake him on the start-finish straight. That's what I was thinking for the final lap. It seemed like a good strategy to go for. Just hopefully he doesn't pull away too much. We're getting put under pressure by Hamilton as well, and I think there's a couple of other cars pretty close, so any contact or anything, then things could get very shaken up for these final podium positions. It does look like Daniel Ricciardo is going to win this race. He's absolutely miles ahead. So now, on to the final lap we go. DRS, can we catch up to the Force India Perez? No, we can't, but we're getting put under pressure by Hamilton. Oh, we might have to go for a major dive, but we're trying to force him to the inside so we can go for Perez. We can't, though. Hamilton's going for it, and he's made slight contact with us, so we've nearly spun around. There's a yellow flag. I think Hamilton's gone around there, and that's definitely hurt our chances of getting P2. We'll see the replay here as we go into turn 1. I was looking for the gap so I could dive up the inside of Perez as well, but I was just too far back to do that. Hamilton makes slight contact, nearly spins us as well, and there's a train behind. Everyone just comes to a standstill on board with Hamilton here. Let's see what happens and if anyone's at fault. So I think he turns in just a little bit too late. He doesn't turn to full lock quick enough and then goes into our side pod. We'll slow it down here and you'll see what I mean. I think if he turns slightly early, because you can see he's missed the apex there. So if he did hit the apex, I don't think he would have made contact with us. And I think it's a bit unfortunate. Maybe a racing incident. You can see I do leave definitely enough room there. There's a load of room. I'm nowhere near that apex at all. And you can see, yeah, I get tagged near the rear end. What's this Renault doing? Just stopping in the track. Oh, the man is taking him out the race. Magnussen, that's how Magnussen's out the race. How unlucky is that? Why did Magnussen come to a standstill? And why are the AI taking that awful line through turn 1? I don't know what's happened there. Both Renaults out the race, but this was weird. Why is the fireworks? Is there always fireworks before the end of the race? I thought it was just when the race winner crossed the line that the fireworks went off. But oh well, we're coming to the line. What a difference from Australia. It's going to be a 1-3 for the Red Bull team. And my first podium for Red Bull. Unbelievable. What a feeling that is. A brilliant race there. P3, 15 points. Absolutely ecstatic with that. Hit that like button if you enjoyed that brilliant race there. So Daniel Ricciardo takes the victory for the Red Bull team. He takes the lead of the driver standings as well. And that's a fantastic podium. Perez, he wasn't driving last season because I took his seat, takes my car to second position. And I say my car, I mean Magnussen's car won the title last season, and that was my car as well. So let's celebrate our first podium with the Red Bull team. I love them overalls as well, and just the livery of the car looks absolutely fantastic. But some big points here for Red Bull, and yeah, very happy with that overall. And to get the first trophy in the cabinet for the season in the second race. And considering we finished P10 in Australia, that's a brilliant turn of events. So 40 points for Red Bull. We finished just ahead of Hamilton, who had that spin on the final lap. Bit of a controversial moment there. We look further down the order, and it's quite mixed in terms of teams in the top 10. So obviously calls for great racing, and a team we see that are missing are the World Constructors Champions. Renault, another double. Well, actually, one car retired in Australia and one finished 14th. But yeah, no points so far this season. Poor start to defending their crown. So Ricciardo jumps to the top of the standings. Very nice start for him. And we jumped to P5. So overall, I'm happy with our start for the Red Bull team. I mean, second half of the season, I expect to be challenging further up in the order, possibly for the championship. But hopefully Ricciardo doesn't get too much of a big lead over me. And of course, he is the Season 2 champion. And I did battle him for the title. So that's going to be very interesting indeed. We'll look further down. 22nd position. Season 3 champion Kevin Magnussen. Unbelievable start for him. So, we are leading the Constructors' Championship. I don't think I've said that at all in this career. And it's a brilliant feeling. 59 points. And it's all mixed up further down Renault with none at all. So, if you have enjoyed this Bahrain Grand Prix, please do leave a like. Subscribe if you haven't already to my channel. Thanks for watching, guys. And I'll catch you in the next race. Goodbye.